In this demonstration, we're going to look at optimizing disks on a Mac OS system. Now, I do want to point out that similar to Linux systems, Mac OS systems do not need to be defragmented really at all. This is especially true with solid-state hard drives. The reason being is the fact that the Mac file system does a very efficient job of storing and retrieving data. However, apart from defragmenting, there are a few things you can do to speed up a hard drive and repair hard drive errors on a Mac system. Let's start by looking at how we can identify disk usage. As when a hard drive gets to about 80% capacity, it's time to delete files. One way of identifying disk usage is by looking at the size of files and folders on the system. This is done by selecting the file or folder and either pressing Command-I or right-clicking the item and clicking Get Info. This is the info window of this folder. We can see it's 2.8 megabytes in size and it contains 4 items in the folder. Let's open the folder and see the files. We can view the info on each file in the same way. So this particular file is 2.7 megabytes. If we were looking to free up space on the system, we would probably start with each user's home directory. Let's go there. Home directories are where each user stores all their files, including photos, videos, music files, and so on. So it's possible for these directories to get really big really fast. Let's see the size of our user's home directory. We can see the directory is just over 300 megabytes. This isn't very big, but we could probably reduce the size a bit. If we needed to, we could go through this directory and delete files we don't need anymore. Now, going folder by folder, file by file to identify disk usage can be a bit tedious. Luckily, we can use another utility to see a more high-level overview of disk usage. To do this, we use Disk Utility. Disk Utility provides us with a lot of different information about the installed storage disks in the system, including the name, size, and types of files that are on the disk. For example, this disk is named Macintosh HD. Here's its size. And below that, we can see the different categories of files that are on this disk. This right here can be very useful. For example, let's say this hard drive was 90% full and we wanted to see where we could delete files. And let's say Disk Utility showed us that movies or audio was taking up the majority of disk space. These files are probably really easy to transfer to another drive or to delete, so we could free up space relatively easily. However, if the majority of space was used by apps, it might take more time to see which apps are necessary and which can be removed. In addition to viewing disk usage, Disk Utility can also be used to repair hard drives. To do this, we use the First Aid utility up here, but I want to point something out about this. To be 100% effective, always run the First Aid utility by booting into recovery mode. The reason for this is that when the operating system is running, some system files can't be repaired or checked because they're in use or protected. By running First Aid in recovery mode, we can be sure that the entire disk has been verified and checked by the utility and that all files can be repaired. For our purposes, let's run a quick First Aid on our disk. We can click Show Details to see information about the scan. And the scan has finished, and it looks like there are no errors. Click Done. First Aid is a good way to optimize a disk by making sure the file system itself is in good health and that file permissions are properly set. There's one more disk optimization utility we should look at, but to run it, we need to restart the system in single user mode, which is the Mac OS command line maintenance utility. So let's restart the system. We've booted into single user mode. This is a command line mode that can be used to perform various system maintenance tasks, including disk verification. To do this, we need to run the fsck command, and we're going to run it with the -fy options. These specify the utility to clean the file system and also to automatically fix any errors it encounters. Press Enter, and the utility will run. When we see that the file system appears to be okay, we know the utility is finished, and we can go ahead and reboot the system. That's it for this demonstration. In this demo, we looked at how you can optimize disks on a Mac OS system. We looked at identifying file and folder size, we looked at the disk utility, and we also looked at running fsck from single user mode.